Yes, so on stage, I'm going to welcome the Country Director of Business Professional Network, Alice Nkulikiyinka. Please, let's put our hands together as we welcome Alice on stage. Welcome, Alice. And then next, we'll have the CEO and the co-founder of MoneyPhone, Marthe, Paauwe. Please, let's also welcome her. Whoa, these women look amazing. We're going to have also Tânia, Tomé, the founder and the CEO of Womenize, organization present and American Business Award judge. Please welcome on stage, Tânia. And then we are going to have the head of IT and cybersecurity from the BPR Bank Rwanda, Emmanuella. Please give it up for Emmanuella as well. Thank you so much, wonderful women. Don't they look amazing? Yeah, let's also give them another round of applause as they sit. It is an absolute pleasure for me to welcome you to today's panel discussion from hustle to Herstory, celebrating women trailblazers in fintech. As you've heard, my name is Bayingana. I'm delighted to be the moderator of such an interesting panel this afternoon. As we gather here, we recognize that the fintech industry, once dominated by traditional players, is being reshaped by innovation, resilience, and a new wave of trailblazers, as you see them here. And at the forefront of this transformation are the women who are redefining leadership, breaking barriers, and creating opportunities in the space that has not always been welcoming. Today, we have the privilege of hearing from some of these incredible women, leaders, innovators, and change makers who have not only navigated the challenges of fintech, but have also paved the way for others to follow. Their journeys are filled with ambition, persistence, and commitment to excellence, and I'm honored to have introduced them to you today. This conversation is going to be about more than success stories. It's about lessons learned, the power of community, and the vision for a more inclusive future in fintech. I encourage you all to engage and be inspired by the remarkable insights our panelists will share. One of the speakers here said, when you empower a woman, you've empowered a community. And I think that's true. Please, let's give them another hand of applause. So I'll start with a general question to all of us, and this is the question. All of you are accomplished women in your own right. Would you share with the audience your story, how you blazed the trail to become who you are today? You will highlight both the soft and the hard skills that have enabled your success. We'll start with you, Ella.
All right. Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here. And I'm being put on spot to start with these incredible ladies. My name is Emmanuella, as Teddy explained, and I head technology and cybersecurity at BPR for the last few years, where I've been driving innovation and digital transformation. BPR, if I may talk about BPR, it's a commercial bank, and our business model integrates retail, corporate, digital banking. In terms of myself, during my, if I may start where I came from, where I started, it's all about my mindset is what I can talk about that has shaped me, the person I am. Perseverance has been one, adaptability, and making sure that I seize every opportunity and challenge as one of opportunity for my growth and leadership, and in growing in the leadership. In a male-dominated world of technology and cybersecurity, I've made sure that every opportunity that I get, being acting for a role or driving a project, a big project, I make sure that I take that as an opportunity for my growth and not giving any excuse, but making sure that I always deliver on my mandate. And one thing that has made me who I am today is mentorship. I not only being a mentee, but also giving back to the community, and also remembering where I come from. And one other thing that I always remember is in technology, we continuously evolve. And investing in myself and making sure that I learn new innovations and new technologies that are out there, it's something that I continuously make sure that I invest in continuous learning to be where I am today. Thank you.
Over to you, Tânia. Thank you so much, Ella. Can we please give her another round of applause?
Hello. Muraho! Muraho! I know that this is a time that you are losing your energy. Very soon we will have lunch. I will start, first of all, to appreciate this invitation. I'm really privileged to be here, to be in this, not only in this session, but in this platform, to bring amazing people as you. And I would love to ask for a round of applause for this organization that made this happen. My name is Tânia Tomé. For me, success is not achieving the top. For me, success is bringing people with me to achieve their best potential. And this was also the motto that bring me here as a young woman, start living without her mother while I was 4 years old. And I did understand that I had the privilege to be alive, privilege to dream, privilege to fight for my dreams. Then I started doing, in fact, my first journey as an entrepreneur with 13 years in my school, doing jewelry and sell it. And I started also realizing that life is not only about money, very early. It's about impact. It's about supporting others. So while I was in my education and secondary school, I was creating different groups to support them with knowledge, with creativity. And while I was starting my first journey living alone with 17 years old, it was the one as well that I started working professionally. And I made my entire university working. And I realized also that my life can't be enough if my mission is not teaching others. My school of life, my school of resilience, my school of persistence, my school of consistency, understanding that I am my own investor. And I need to believe in myself. So I will ask you, who are the champions in this room? Please stand. Who are the champions? There is no champions here? There is no champions? Yes. This is the first thing that needs to happen. Our believing system. Sometimes, most of the entrepreneurs think that the journey will start having capital, having knowledge, but they don't believe in themselves. So that energy is the first energy that happens in our hearts. And that's defined me as an entrepreneur in many different steps. I'm an economist by profession, and I'm used to be a banker, more than 14 years in the industry. I had to save money to start my journey as an entrepreneur 10 years ago. And while I'm going, I decided not only to create money for me, but to impact the people. That's why I did create Womanize, to empower women, to empower youth. Because I truly believe that we are active force underrepresented. And today, even though my language is Portuguese, my native language is Portuguese, I decided to go international. And I made the same that Kagame did with Rwanda.
Yeah.
We did understand that English is the business language. Yes. So we need to go into the ecosystem that already have the resources. That's why now I'm the first Lusophone and the first African to become the President Committee Chair of the Women in Business in the World, held in New York. And I'm also American Business Award judge member. And I'm still want to mentor people, train people to achieve their best potential. This is me, Tânia Tomé. Thank you.
Thank you, Tânia. That's an amazing story. Believe in yourself. Then we will hear more about Womanize as we go along in the panel. Then let's hear from Marthe, please.
Hello, it's on? Yes. Yes, good afternoon already, I think, everybody. So, what an inspiring story. Thank you so much for that. So for me, my name is Marthe Paauwe. I'm originally from the Netherlands, but I've been fortunate to live in over 5 different countries here. So many people call me East African as well, although I did my work in Ghana, Liberia as well, so some of the West Africa. I started my career in management consultancy after finishing a thesis in collaboration with Cambogo University in access to finance for people with disabilities. Back then, I did not imagine that only 15 years later, I would be here on a stage with these incredible African women talking about my own business, of which I'm obviously also the CEO, MoneyPhone, where we bring access to finance through women in Jordan, refugees in other countries across the nation. We are here in Rwanda serving smallholder farmers mostly, so today I was zooming on a little bit on that. I did know that I would be devoting my career and my skill set to making the world a more equal and a more fair place, where people all over the world would have access to the same opportunities, the same resources, the same information. So I was figuring out, how do I do that? I'm not into finance, I'm not into tech, I'm a strategy planner, I'm a leader, but I thought I need to be in finance if I want to make equal opportunities for everybody out there. I also need to reach scale, so I need to make sure I'm in technology, because that is how we reach scale. So here I am today as a CEO of a fintech. Never imagined that. I do believe in how do you get there. You also need to be aware that it's not only fun and hardworking, it's like you need to make some sacrifices. When I moved away from my management consultancy firm job, I gave him more than half of my salary. I stayed here, for example, during Corona times, knowing that if my parents would happen something to them in Europe, I could not fly back to them. You also need to be aware, you cannot sleep a lot, just in life in general, because I'm also raising a child alone while growing our really fast-growing business. So I think it's about sacrificing and determination to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's also give a hand of applause. It's sacrifice and determination for Marthe. Alice, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a huge pleasure to be here, and I also would like to commend the organizers of this initiative, a moment for us to sit back and reflect and look forward. I also would like to appreciate our MC, such an amazing job, such a welcoming environment, such a professional setting. So I'm very happy to be here. And I'm proud to be Rwandan. So talking about my story, really my career, I would say, started with my father. I had the privilege of having a visionary father who motivated me to study information technology. And he motivated me, together with my sister Christine, to go to Germany. And at that time, we did not understand why we should learn such a complicated language, though we could study in French or in English. And at that time, he convinced me that information technology is going to change the world, and that we would be among the few people speaking German, Rwandan speaking German, and that would open doors. And a few years later, my sister became the Rwandan ambassador to Germany after her studies. And for myself, I continued. I studied computer science at a time where there were very few women in STEM. So I remember being in an auditorium of 100 students. We were 3 women, one from Germany, from Iran, and myself. I was the only African woman on the campus, and it was a challenging time. I remember some professors coming in and really staring at me and wondering whether I'm able to follow and asking me in front of everybody whether I'm sure I would understand what they were talking about. So to cut a long story short, that never discouraged me. On the contrary, it motivated me to really give my best and take the opportunity that I had. I was conscious that it's a privilege. And after my studies, I started working in Switzerland. Germany and Switzerland are neighboring countries. I worked in the financial industry, and during that time, I realized that, so I started as a software engineer, and I realized that the whole company had a kind of mindset focusing on IT, but not really focusing on the client. And I brought in that aspect and designed a product that came in transformational, and where all the men who were older than myself, who were more experienced than myself, all of them said, this is exactly what we needed. Mm-hmm. And it changed the whole course of where the company was going. So I started growing my career from software engineer, team leader, department head, working internationally, having a team in Zurich, in London, and in New York City. And so it went on for about 10 years until a restructuring came in. And I was very much focused on the customers and on the happening. And everybody else was focused on power and positioning. When the new org chart came out, I realized that my superior, who had seen me as a threat, had took the opportunity to push me aside. Mm-hmm. So I realized, oh, okay, in career, you don't only focus on, on the subject. It seems that there are other topics that one shouldn't lose focus on. At that time, I decided to move on. And they insisted that I stay, but I moved to a different company, similar context, IT, international. And for this company, I moved to Singapore, where we were introducing banking software to Development Bank of Singapore, the Mura Bank, it's a Japanese bank. And so I was running 2 projects in Singapore and in Hong Kong, multi-million-dollar projects.
Oh, wow.
And during that time, I started really feeling the urge of contributing to Rwanda's development. And I started opening my eyes, and I saw Business Professionals Network, a Swiss organization that supports entrepreneurs, focusing on mindset change and focusing on job creation and potential. And that convinced me as a solution, and I motivated them to come here. And I'm very happy to also share that we came here as a new organization. We managed to position ourselves as a leading business development program, and at the same time, had the privilege of working with incredible entrepreneurs. Some of them are achieving their $1 million turnover already since the past few years. And so it has been a very rewarding journey. And I would say what is important is really to have a vision in everything you do. Not focus on yourself, but rather than what difference am I making? And the opportunities will come. After a few years working here, I was approached by government to join the board of Rwanda Development Board. I also feel honored to be on the board of I&M Bank. So those opportunities are not opportunities that I asked for, but I believe when you're true to yourself, when you have strict values, hardworking, you have a vision for the people you serve, a vision for your country. That's what really makes a difference. That it's not that really. I never feel like it's about me or myself. It's about the people I serve. It's about the country I want to see moving forward. It's about the impact and the transformation, everything we can do ourselves as a continent. And maybe to close, that I would motivate young people. Sometimes when people come asking for a position, And the first question would be, what is the salary? And before people come even to an interview, the first question would be, what is the remuneration? And in those cases, I don't even organize the interview because it's the first motivation.
Wow.
And it's the wrong motivation and the wrong focus. Money should follow us, not the other way around. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's an amazing story, Alice. I think to dig deep into your story, we will be around, and whoever wants to hear your story in detail, they can come to you, but that's an interesting story. I know your business, I know many people have benefited from it, and it's amazing, such an amazing story. Let's also put our hands together again for her and for the story. She talked of having a vision. One should have a vision. You should have strict values. You should be hardworking, and it's supposed to be all about people. Thank you so much, Alice. So I will go to Tânia next. The next question is, you lead an organization whose name really caught my attention. It's called Women Nice, as in nice women, or Women Nice. We are known to be sometimes accused of being too nice as women, which ends up being a disadvantage. Tell us more about how Women Nice empowers and trains women globally, and how tech and finance come into play. I'll give you 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice question. In fact, women being called too nice, it looks like a disadvantage, right? Because you need to be too nice, to be quiet, and please ask for permission. But as a Womanize, we are here exactly to disrupt that concept. To be nice is really to be nice with yourself, is to be nice with other people, is to ensure that someone that is nice could be strong, could make impact, could make difference. So they can win with purpose. They can rise with grace. So for me, creating this disruption with being nice, because it's not dichotomic, it's not paradoxal, you could be nice and strong, makes me understand that more than 55% of our society are represented by women. And they are underrepresented because they are active, but they can't contribute for development. While I am talking to you today, my grandmother didn't have opportunity to learn to write, didn't have opportunity to have access to education. While I'm talking to you today, there is a girl that is running to sit in the land to pray, to have raining, to have something to eat. In their house, she will not be the priority to be in school. So to create this, or facing this gap, this problem, we decided that we need to empower women. But we need also to empower youth, and we need to understand that empower women doesn't mean only work with women. Men and women have to work hand in hand together. And what we have at Womanize organization, we have mentorship, trainings, awards, conferences. We are establishing the platform to have fundraise and crowdrise and allow women and youth have the source platform, an holistic platform that could engage them not only with the hard skills and knowledge, but also with soft skills. I did start our conversation asking if you're believing in yourself. There's lots of muscles that we need to develop. We are talking about motivation, we are talking about resilience, we are talking about persistence and consistent discipline and focus. And in fact, we don't learn that at school. And they are the foundation to fight until we win. And this is the thing that we need to put in the table. The challenge will always be there. The problems will always be there. And we need to face them understanding that overcoming, it's a process of growing. It's a process of master ourselves. And we need to understand that this personal development is something that could have to put in place. And with Womanize, we try to bring that. And the other thing that is important, and we see in MEG report says that if we include women in the development process, we can increase 12 billion in our GDP, our global GDP. This is huge.
Wow, yeah, it is.
So we need to start understanding, and the men that are here, are men here? Hey, please, louder. Are you a man or not? So we need, and I need to say to you, you don't have to be shy. The people that achieve things in life are the people that stands, are the people that says the things that they believe loudly.
Louder.
Loudly. Huh? And it's really important to stand, to say what we believe and do whatever is needed to engage other people. So our platform is more to make more impact, to leverage women, to act as a collective, to build a nation that will support women and men together, understanding that we need to work together to develop our countries.
Thank you so much. I like the passion, in your voice. Yeah, you touched very important. 2 points I may mention is that before you become nice to everyone as a woman, be nice to yourself. We've seen our mothers, putting everyone else first, and they end up with nothing. So women, let's learn to put ourselves first. Thank you so much. You also mentioned being loud. I think this speaks more to Rwandan women. We are very mellow, and we are very good people. Even our voices are so, sometimes that you speak and your voice is not heard. I think what she's telling us is be loud, of course not to scream, but I mean make your point very clear and consistently. Yeah, so let's also clap for her, for Tânia. Thank you so much, Tânia, for that. I'll come to Emmanuella. This is about innovation. I think this is where you've been working. This is your career. Which innovations in technology and finance are most promising, and why? How can they be improved, particularly in the banking sector, especially in the favor of women?
Thank you. I like that you're particularly asking about women, because most of the time when we come up with product, we really think about women at last. So there's quite a number of innovations, and if we tailor them to cater for women, we would improve financial inclusion and also economic growth in Africa. I think one of the innovations that I can talk about is AI in finance. This is one of the innovations that is changing the entire financial services. And one of the issues that is going to cater for is fraud prevention and risk management in real time. But there's also one critical issue that women face, which is credit, access to credit. And I think we need to use AI to make sure that credit scoring is not only based on the traditional credit scoring, but it also leverages on the alternative data, such as mobile money transactions and others. And I think what needs to be done is to make sure that the AI models is tailored to, is free from gender bias, but also making sure that we come up with education in terms of AI. Another technology that I can talk about is blockchain and decentralized finance, which is very critical. I'm not looking at Rwanda only, but I'm looking across Africa. How do we make sure that we use a blockchain to improve security? I'm very passionate about cybersecurity. So as we develop in terms of digital financial services, we need to make sure that security is embedded in our product, but there's also transparency and accessibility to digital financial services. And this is particularly applies to those women who live in regions where traditional banking is not available or is limited. And I think what needs to be done is to make sure that there's quite a lot of financial literacy that needs to be done, and educating women on this blockchain so that we can improve adoption. There's quite a number of other innovations that I can talk about, such as open banking, the digital currencies, including the central bank digital currencies that are coming up. But I think what is important is to make sure that all these innovations have an impact on women, is for tech industries, fintech, the financial, the banks, to make sure that they prioritize gender-based product design, and also financial literacy and policy reforms. But beyond that, I believe that we also need to encourage women, women in tech, financial sector, and fintech, so that we can come up, we can design product with women needs in our mind. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ella. They are very difficult. Yes, let's clap for her. Yeah, they are very difficult words that are being used here, things to do with blockchain, stable coins, digital currency. And, sometimes I'm like, just break those things down for us, to hear, in the language that you, especially if we're talking of women in rural areas who can't access, you don't go to them and say, now this blockchain, this digital currency, how do we make sure that we break? I think we should continue with the conversations going forward to really bring down to what this means, the features of these products, and how are they facilitating these women. I think the conversations can continue. Yeah? I'll go to Marthe. Marthe, with MoneyPhone's focus on financial inclusion for farmers, could you share unique insights into the challenges that exist in your sector and how tech has unlocked these challenges? How do you envision the landscape of the fintech industry changing in the next 5 years?
Thank you. I think it also relates a lot to your point on how to make, indeed, fintech available, but also understandable for rural women, in my case. So our objective, our mission is to serve the 2 billion under- and unbanked people of the planet. And we do that through digital financial innovations. But we need to make sure that we don't just talk about digital transformation without making it a digital inclusive transformation. So our objective of MoneyPhone is really to serve those underserved, not the middle class, not the higher income people, but the lower income people all over the world. In Rwanda, specifically, we got a license from the central bank only 1.5 years ago. Already, I really applaud Rwanda for getting a license at the central bank as a foreigner. I mean, that is amazing how the process went. We got it 1.5 years ago, and we are now serving thousands of smallholder farmers in Rwanda, and our non-performing loan rate is still below 2%. So the people are repaying. People thought you cannot serve a smallholder farmer because they don't have collateral. And yes, we do not ask for collateral, but we look at real-time data. We score them based on data. So that requires rural people to understand the value of their own data. This is partly AI, the usage of their phones, but it's also their previous sales and production records. So rural people can really be banked if they understand the value of their own data. So I think that comes also with the digital financial literacy that we provide. It comes with the confidence and leadership trainings that we do, especially for the women, because they often tell us, we want it because we disperse through the mobile phone, so it's on their mobile wallets, which is often the only account that they do not share, where they have the full control on. But we are a bit worried to speak up when you come to do the training, maybe we don't understand it. So it's really good to pay specific attention to the rural women to make sure they are included. So their main challenges are the lack of collateral, the lack of access to, mostly for the smallholder farmers, inputs. Having the seeds, the money for labor, the quality inputs at the right time. And that's another thing. We often talk about, yes, fintech is able to reduce transaction costs, therefore lowers interest rates, which obviously we are doing, and it's, for me, a no-brainer. But what is underestimated is the power of fintech being fast. And especially for smallholder farmers, when they need a loan, it's within 5 days is when we disperse on their digital wallets, and they can buy the seed and put it in the soil. Often I've seen, because we started actually our journey at MoneyPhone as a software as a service provider for financial institutions, and we would help them digitize their onboarding processes. And yes, then banks were able to reduce maybe from 3 to 4 months to 3 to 4 weeks from the moment somebody would apply for a loan to the moment they would have it in their hand. But that is still way too short. They would all still request the land titles, for example, which immediately excludes so many young people and women. So we found a way through data-driven decisions to make sure we are fast, we are at the right time, and we are fast. And of course, we are with the low interest rates. And maybe last but not least, I also think it's really important to work building on the local structures. So there are so many great things in place. So, my full Rwandan team in this case, they understand way better than I will ever do, even if I lived there more than 5 years. How are the local markets, the social structures in those rural areas? So it's not only about tech, it's tech mixed with building on the existing structures. We have youth fellows in place who are people from the same neighborhood that will work with the farmers to make them trust the phone, make them trust this new way of giving money. They sometimes even ask, when are you open a branch? When can I move to your bank branch? But that's the whole idea. We're never open a bank branch, right? We are fully digital, and we'll make sure that the benefits come to the rural people in this country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marthe. I think we are running out of time. I'll go to Alice, and I would like to give you Second. Yeah,
Okay.
The question is, in your work with SMEs, what impact has technology had on the way you do business? Just one impact that is very fundamental that you can share with the audience.
Yes. I would like to twist my answer and rather say, yes, we've been working with SMEs now for the last 13 years. We've seen companies growing incredibly, and tech is still a huge opportunity to tap into. Before we talk about fintech, I believe we need to talk about entrepreneurship. So before you become a tech entrepreneur, you have to be an entrepreneur first and understand who is my clientele, what do I want, have a solid business model, having a proof of concept, because we tend to think of where is the investor before we know how we are going to monetize whatever we are doing. And here in Rwanda specifically, BPN works in 6 different countries, and no countries has an environment that we have here in Rwanda, where we already have an AI policy, we have data protection, we have hunger hubs all over the country, we have a lot of initiatives where young people can access funding. So basically, I believe the fintech era is going to come now. The ground has been set, the mindset needs to be right, and then the real changes and the real opportunities in the fintech industry can be tapped into much more than we are doing today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We've come to the end of our interesting panel. Please let's give them another hand of applause. Before we end and get off this stage and release you to go for lunch, I would like one word from each one of you, just one, that you will need people to go for lunch discussing when they're seated on those tables, one word they can discuss. I'll start with you, Emmanuella. Empowerment.
Jesus Christ, I don't know, one word. Let me ask you then. I will say to you that I'm on my Instagram, Tânia Tomé official, but I would love to end with the slogan, and you will support me. When women rise, Africa rise. Can we? When women rise, Africa rise. With me, with energy. When women rise, Africa rise. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tânia. I love the energy. Yes, Marthe?
Thank you. I cannot do it in one word, but I really want to make sure that everybody considers the unusual market. I so often get the question, why Rwanda? It's so small, how can you make a business there? But if we have 7 million farmers only in Rwanda, and let's say 5% needs a loan for 400 euros, I have a 140 million market, right? So let's not all think of fintech in Nigeria, in Kenya, but let's go for the unusual markets, follow the data and not the crowd.
Thank you, Marthe. Alice, one word, if you're able to.
One slogan.
Okay. Just one slogan, go.
Yes. Being an entrepreneur is not an end in itself, it's a process. Thank you.
And entrepreneurship is not an end itself, it's a process.
It's a process.
Thank you so much.